I want to talk to you about was Jesus a socialist? I'm hearing a lot of Christians say that Jesus was a socialist. And they're doing this with the attempt to push socialism. And if you could convince the people that Jesus was a socialist, then the Christians are going to start saying it too. There are Christians saying it. I hear it all the time, that Jesus was a socialist. And the first thing that came to my mind, if Jesus was a socialist, how did they come up with that song, Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that got his own? You heard that song before? Yeah, Billie Holiday. If Jesus was a socialist, Billie Holiday would not have made that song. But they are really, have you heard that? Anyone say that Jesus was a socialist? Oh, you have not heard it? No. Really? I hear, you heard it? Kelly, you've heard it? All the time. Well, you guys, man, you ever heard it? Yeah, they're pushing that. Just like they're pushing that if Jesus didn't say it in the Bible, you know, like about gay marriage or homosexuality, they're asking me now, well, did Jesus say it? It was wrong. And I said, I don't remember Jesus personally saying that it was wrong, but the disciples talked about it and how God felt about it. They said, oh, that's just man then. It doesn't mean anything. It's not wrong if Jesus didn't say it in the Bible. And then I say, well, were the disciples influenced by Jesus, inspired, by God? Did he not give them his things to say? But, oh, that's just man talking. Isn't that crazy? And I'm thinking that the reason that these people are believing this because the people who are promoting it, they have control of the media. And whomever controls the media control the people. And a lot of people who are pushing these types of things now, they have control of the media for the most part. And then the churches are talking about it too. The preachers, liberal preachers, are pushing it as well, that Jesus was a socialist. Now, I'm not like a Bible thumper kind of guy, and I looked through the Bible to try to find somewhere where it indicated, and probably there somewhere, that Jesus was a socialist, but I can't find it anywhere in the Bible. And I know most of you here know the Bible, and so you're going to be able to tell me where I can find it. But that where it says that Jesus was a socialist or indicated that Jesus was a socialist. And I'll get to you in a minute too. And the reason I bring this up is because socialism is winning. We just had an election, and after the election, I think it was Mitt Romney or somebody said the reason that he lost was because the government on the other side gave people gifts. They gave people free stuff. And that's why Mitt Romney said that he lost. And as a result of saying that, the children of Satan are having a hissy fit. Oh, why is he saying that? That's wrong. He shouldn't be saying that. So I analyzed that too. I looked at it to see if that's true. And for the most part, the people who voted, and I'm not pushing who you should vote for at all. I'm using this as a moral issue, a warfare between good and evil. When you really, really look at the way things went down, the people who voted on that side are for governmental programs. You have the young, godless, liberal women. They want free condoms and free sex and free education. You have the blacks who want free government handout to continue, free cell phones, free housing, free food. And then they're racist toward white people. You have the Hispanics who want more immigration. They want the borders to be open. They want amnesty. They want those things, and it's the other side who are promoting that. And so it was. And then it was the young people for the most part as well, because what evil people have done is organized the young. They have taken the young away from their parents by educating them from the day they go to school. They're in these public schools and they have been taught to be against the parents, and America is a bad place, and right is wrong, and wrong is right. Abortion is good, same-sex marriage is perfect. From the day in California, they are teaching that to the little children, that homosexuality is normal, to a point now you can't even counsel against it. You can't counsel again. And so these kids are learning this stuff, and the moment they pop out of their mother's womb, they go on to college and they're instilled, taught the same thing. And so what else are you supposed to think if that's all you hear? And the parents, the Christian parents, have turned their children over to the world, and the kids don't like the parents anymore. They don't like the parents. They don't even believe their parents, because a lot of the parents are hypocrites in the way that they live. And so it is true, but and now that Mitt Romney said it and others are saying it, they are under attack by the liberal media, the children of Satan. They are attacking these people like 90 going north. I was watching a program this morning. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow on my radio show. It happened to be on a black station. And they were attacking Mitt Romney for saying that. I was like, but no one, and they had Republicans and Democrats attacking Mitt Romney. So it's about good versus evil and not about the politics of it. Well, it's about the politics too. But you had Republicans attacking Mitt Romney for saying that. But nobody brought in anything that was true to say, well, Mitt Romney is lying and here's why he is lying. But what they're saying is that, if you offend people, you upset these folks, you're never going to get their votes. So don't tell the truth about them, because they're not going to vote for you. They don't ever say it's wrong and here's why you say it's wrong, because they can't prove that it's wrong, because it's true. And my thing is, if we continue to go down this road of socialism, which is evil, it's over. And they'll win, it look like. And they have taken the young, and I have something from Jeremiah about that too, what happens with the young people when the parents don't watch over them. If they take the young, that means that they're taking the next generation of voters and whatever, or people who build families and stuff like that, It's over. I'm looking through the Bible trying to find something that indicates that Jesus was a socialist. And I'm sure some of you can show me where he said it, and I appreciate that. But I thought about Job. Remember that guy, Job?
Yes.
You remember how he was wealthy? I mean, everywhere you look, he owned it. He was, talking about being the Jew and the white man, he was it. He owned everything. Had a great family. When they said Jews and white folks own everything. So, had a great family, great land, just had everything. Cows and hogs and everything. He lost it after a while because Satan went and attacked him. But because he held on to his belief in God, he never doubted God, he regained everything back and even more. So if Jesus was a socialist, would he have gotten that stuff back? How about the guy Paul? Paul was like an educated man, right? And if you were educated, especially in those days, it meant your daddy and your mama had some money. Somebody got you educated. And if you're educated along with education, even the liberals are saying today that wealth comes with that, along with education. So Paul wasn't a poor guy, a socialist guy. And he followed Jesus. He went around with him. And how about the tax guy, the disciple that was followed Jesus? If you are taking folks' taxes, believe me, you have money. Because when those taxes come in, you're going to steal. Even if you ain't making enough on your paycheck, you're going to steal some of that tax money. So he was loaded. And how about the fishermen that owned their own businesses? The disciples who were fishermen, they had their own businesses, so they had to go out and fish and bring the fishes back and sell them, right? They didn't give them away. Otherwise, they couldn't maintain a business. There was another guy. I wrote his name down here. Abraham. Was Abraham a poor guy?
No.
He was very wealthy, right? And who made him wealthy? God made him wealthy. And then God said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Remember that? If God had been a socialist, he would have said, if you don't work, don't worry about it. The government will take care of you. We'll give you a free cell phone, a free horse, a donkey, some free cows or whatever, right? But he said, no, if they don't work, they don't eat. God created everything for his children, but we have to earn it. It doesn't come free. Nothing in life comes free. And when it comes free, it doesn't last long. I remember when I was younger, in my 20s, I used to have a lot of car accidents. And I don't think I was trying to have accidents. People just hitting me out of nowhere. And I had gotten into a mode of having accidents almost every year. Somebody would just hit me in the back of my car. I was in that mode. But I didn't mind because at that time, and I think it's still the law, if somebody hits you, you automatically going to win the case. Did you know that? Don't go out and get hit, though. But I would get this money from the case, and it just went right through my fingers. It was here today and gone tomorrow because I was not earning it. And I remember the last time I had an accident, I came from vacation. I had gone back home and I came back to California. And the next morning, I got in my car and somebody hit me. So I just said, God, I don't want to be having more accidents. I may get hurt after a while, right? And so I didn't take that case to court. I stopped suing the folks and I had no more accidents. Anybody ever done that? You done it? That's right. You and I are the only two sinners here. Everybody else is all holy. Yeah. And another example of there were rich, wealthy women who followed Christ, who had money, and they didn't get it from the government. Some of them had their own businesses, but they were coming from wealthy families. And I didn't hear Jesus Christ complaining about that. And so this socialist idea is coming into our minds. It's coming into the ideas of young people. And if we don't speak up about it and do something about it, it's over for America. It's really what we should offer one another. Show them how to work, show them how to save their money, show them how to invest, show them how to become investors. And not just give people stuff all the time, because what I've noticed, when you give somebody something, it's hard to give it up. You don't want to give it back. You don't want to earn your way. You don't want to say no to it. And it's something in us that our ego just is easily spoiled when you constantly give people something, even with your children. But they're pushing this, and it is working, especially on the young people. Let me take here first, and then I'll come to you. It is evil, evil, evil. Yes, sir.
What I've heard people say when they say that Jesus was a socialist is that when the rich young man came to Jesus asking how to enter the kingdom, Jesus said, you have to go and sell all your possessions and then give that money to the poor, and then you'll have wealth in heaven. And he went away sad.
Right, he shook his head and said, no, are you crazy?
Yeah.
I ain't giving up my money just to go with you. Yeah, I heard that one. Somebody called into my radio show and mentioned that one. But that was to show an example of how that particular guy and that guy had made his money his God. He had identified with that money, and he was unwilling to give it up for what is right, for the truth. He wouldn't give it up for God, and that's why God's, an example of us making or creating gods out of all kinds of things, wealth and houses and one another and all that kind of. That's the point of that. He couldn't give it up to follow what is right. Yes.
And that's what they say that capitalism does, is it makes money a god and making profits a god. And so that's what they say.
He's made money what?
They say that capitalism is the modern day example of that rich young man that makes money your god.
Capitalism does that.
That's what they say.
But
yeah.
not socialism.
Right.
But I'm sure you can find people who really into working hard and making a lot of money, and that money has become their god. They're worried now if they lose it, what's going to happen? They're tripping out. I'm sure you can find that. But we're supposed to work hard and earn our way, but keep a right relationship with that money. not let it become your God. You can find that. You can find that in anything. But that's not proof that Jesus wanted us to not work and earn our way, and socialism is the way to go. But yeah, you can find that. Have you read in the Bible yourself that Jesus was a socialist?
No.
Do you read the Bible?
I used to.
Oh, okay.
I used to read it quite a bit.
Yeah, you haven't found it anywhere.
No, I just know those two examples, and they point at that.
Yeah.
The way that a lot of people that are super capitalists and the way that they're against, like most of us, our side, the conservatives, I guess, are against abortion. We're
against good.
Yeah, and then they go the opposite extreme, though. The way they say, oh, you can't force people to have abortions, but you can force people to give their money to the government. And
I know. I had a guy call me up on my show this week, said, oh, you can't force a woman not to have an abortion. You can't tell her what to do. You're not supposed to be telling people what to do. And I said, so why are you trying to tell me what to do? And I think he ran. He hung up on me and took off. But you know what? Let me just say this to you, then I'm going to take everybody's hand, right? I absolutely love this battle. It's a little scary at times, though, because I feel sad for people at times for being so blinded and can't really see what's going on. But if you can really see what's going on, it's a fun battle to be dealing with. And I noticed that the more I keep an eye on myself, I gave you an example of what my mind was trying to tell me. The more I keep an eye on myself, the more I can see what's going on around me, the clearer I can see it. And I realized, really, there's nothing of myself I can do about it, but allow God to work through me with it, but because it's all spiritual. It is all spiritual. And we are in a battle right now. This class warfare thing, I don't know if this happened since I've been on earth. I'm sure, life hasn't really repeated itself, but this class warfare thing is working. It is amazing how that is working. And it doesn't make sense to have to go against people who pay taxes and work hard, because let's say you put all of them out of business, then where's the government going to get its money to give you a free cell phone? You know what I'm saying? But they don't see that for some reason. Well, I know why. They can't see what's going on. And I'm telling you this because I want you to be able to see yourself so you can see what's going on. Because when you see what's going on, then God's going to open up opportunities for you to enlighten other people about it. But if you're not into seeing what's happening with you, you're not going to see the reality, nor will you have the authority and power to do anything about it. You got to keep your eyes on yourself. Really, really. And I want to talk to how, before we end today, how do you keep your eyes on yourself? Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. It is so interesting keeping your eyes on yourself. It's something else there, Let me just go back here for one more time there, Rob.
I can see how you consider this argument fun, but and I have a little bit of fun with it too, but I really have no patience for these people. They're practically all my friends, and even some family members, and Christians, non-Christians. It's hard to keep my eyes on myself. I realize that I'm angry and not helping myself or them when I'm impatient and making myself look bad. But it's difficult not to think about how dumb they are and judge them.
So you have no patience for these people.
Yeah.
Sound like my mama. I have no patience for them. Don't worry about it. Now that you know that you're angry and that's why you don't have patience for them, keep your eyes on yourself and it'll change by itself. As long as you're not in denial as to why you don't have patience. And the only reason you don't have patience for them is because you're not free within yourself yet.
Right.
And so just let yourself feel it. Don't be in denial about it. And God will still work through you. He'll give you some words to say to some people. He will give you some challenges to deal with. Deal with them. but let yourself feel what you feel. It's not important at all what you feel. It's how you see it, what you feel, what you think about what you feel. And feelings, believe me, don't even worry about feelings. Because feeling is weird. They come all the time, and they come in different kinds of feelings. Fear and doubt and worry and happy and sad and angry and all kind of stuff. So that, don't even pay attention to it. Know that it's there, but move on and God will work through you. Just don't be in denial about it.
It's tricky to know what I should do and what I should say or if I should say something when I'm stuck in that mode.
You say what now?
It's tricky to know if I should say something while I'm upset.
Sometimes yes and sometimes no. And let's say you say something with these people that you're upset at, but it's the truth. And let's say you do it in anger. You just say, you know what? Right now I'm angry at you and I shouldn't be, but what I'm telling you is true. Even that little light put on it will help you go free. And then I'm telling you folks, there will come a time when you can deal with the children of Satan and have compassion and love for them and not feel anger at all. But the thing is, you got to keep your eye on yourself, because really, when we really learn about ourselves and know ourselves, there's no room for judgment. There is no room for judgment at all. Not one iota. So don't worry, you're growing, be patient, it'll change by itself. Just don't be in denial about self, but do what is in front of you to do.
Okay, thanks.
And take the opportunity to speak up when necessary. And after a while, the fear will be gone. Did you deal with your parents yet?
Yeah, somewhat. I still have something else to say to them.
Oh, okay. And once you deal with them and forgive them, it'll be over with then. It really will. You break that mold with your parents because they took your courage away. They didn't mean it, I'm sure. But if you can deal with them freely, forgive them, then dealing with the world is easy, because you don't care if they come or go anyway. But it's your parents that you got to forgive so you can go free.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, that's helpful.
All right.
Just make comment on some of the things. The Jesus being a socialist. I have not heard that, but it's interesting. But I don't know.
I was just at the gym the other day and talking to this black guy. And I think he's from a foreign country somewhere. He called himself the prophet. He's like, Jesus was a socialist. And the Republicans are mean. Jesus was a socialist. They don't want to give to you. And I'm trying to explain to him, but he won't listen. And I just said, okay, fine. Whatever.
I don't know if, I can't say that Jesus was a socialist or a Democrat or Republican or this or that, but I don't know if there's anybody that really can portray him in a realistic way, except for reading it for yourself. Because, he wasn't a socialist, but he did help people. He was into performing miracles to glorify God, and he fed the poor. He did do things that was very helpful towards people who couldn't help themselves. But it's just a thing of representation. It's like he's been represented so many different ways.
Yeah.
People don't know who and what he really is and who and what he stands for. And you have the left and the right, and they're constantly fighting. But I don't think, the way I look at it, I think that both sides are lost, because with the election, how is it that Barack Obama won the election and everybody on the right was saying he's going to lose, and then he kind of like pulled it off, and it's like it was a big surprise. And I don't know. And when we talk about the issue of like some of the focus issues, like gay marriage and abortion, a lot of the young people that I know who voted for Barack Obama, they don't feel like they're really affected by those issues. They feel like, from what they tell me, is that they're more affected by something like divorce.
That's because they are dumb and don't have wisdom. They can't see what's going on. And that's what evil understand, that these young people cannot see beyond their ego. They have no clue. And so that's why they're trying to worship them and control them.
Worship.
The young, they don't see anything wrong with same-sex marriage. They don't see anything wrong with abortion and all that because they're blind. They have no wisdom. But a mature person can see that. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
But let me ask, you mentioned that Jesus fed the poor, right? Did he feed them every day or just?
No, not every day.
What happened? I wonder what happened after the second meal, the first meal. That just occurred to me. So yes, he fed them. He went by their house and gave them a meal, right? Did he go back and bring dinner? Did he show up the next day and give them, or did he teach them how to become independent? Do you know?
Of course.
Did he feed them more than one meal?
The whole purpose of welfare.
Give me a yes or no first to that.
No, he did not go back and keep feeding them and spoon feeding them.
But that's the impression, though. Oh, Jesus fed the hungry, like every day he went back and gave them a meal. Okay, what you want tomorrow? Refried beans or chicken? I'll be back tomorrow and feed you again. He taught them how to fish once he fed them, right?
That's the whole point of giving to the poor anyway. That's how you mesh the two things together. Like, you don't work, you don't eat. But if people don't have a job yet, well, of course, you give them food. You help them to get strong. Once they get strong, then you send them on their way to take care of themselves.
Yes.
That's the whole point of helping, is so they become strong enough to take care of themselves. But
there's that impression, I just realized it right now, and I hadn't thought of it before. There is an impression that he fed them every day. In our home for young men, they come in, they're hungry too. We feed them for a minute, you know. We feed them, but in the meantime, we're preparing them. Okay, if you want another meal, you got to get a job. You know, we'll show you how to save your money. We'll show you how to earn your way and all that kind of stuff. And for those who obeyed those rules, they're doing very well in life right now. Those who didn't, after that third or fourth meal, they were out of there. I ain't gonna feed you no more. Are you crazy? So we did what Jesus did, and we do what Jesus did. We feed them, but we prepare them so that they can feed themselves. Because you can't come over my house every day and eat free. So he didn't feed them every day. Had you thought about that before?
No, I don't. I thought about that. No, I think that he made a great point in the sense that he didn't feed them every day, but he didn't let them starve, but he gave them what they needed in order so that they can become strong enough to be self-sufficient.
Right, and if they didn't, then they starve. That's why he said, if you don't work, you don't eat. You know, and that only makes sense. Another thing I realized too is that we have because we're blinded in many ways, we have the wrong impression how we should treat each other as human beings. There's this notion out there, just because you're a human being, don't let you die. Let them die. Because they'll become a headache for you. And they're not willing to fight and stand up and earn their way after you have taught them how to do it. Let them go. I had to do that with one of my sons. I tried to teach him. He was all mad. There were opportunities for him to get jobs when he was younger. He refused the jobs. And after a while, I just said, you know what, buddy, you got to go. I threw him out. And today, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. He's independent. I can't get rid of him. He's calling me all the time. He want to talk holy stuff, spiritual stuff. He's all spiritual now. And I'm thinking, wow, those principles work. They do work if you live by them. But the children of Satan want you to carry somebody for the rest of their lives. And you're hurting that person when you do that. You're not helping them at all. I don't care if your daddy, your mama, your sister, your brother, your whatever. You got to let people go so they can become real human beings. They can become living examples of what God can do through you. The light don't shine through folks who rely on the government to take care of them. Most people don't even like government people. So they want free cell phones. They want to take from you. And most of you find yourself running from those people after a while. Isn't that true? Lord, here come little Joe. Hide the food. Hide the whiskey. He gonna drink us out of the house. That's what we say. We may not tell them that. I would, but most people won't say, here come little Joe. He gonna eat up all your food. But they come to my house. They've already had a meal. I'm like, look, I fed you last time. Don't come over here hungry. And they'll start respecting you for that. I'm telling you, that's what love is, tough love. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to mention about some evidence that Jesus was not a socialist, but opposed
Is there
to
anywhere other than the scripture that he quoted about Jesus telling the rich young ruler, okay, if you want to follow me, put down your money and follow me?
Well,
is there any other example that indicated that Jesus was a socialist?
No, but I can see how somebody can take certain examples and twist them. Somebody who has no
Right.
insight can take certain examples and make it seem as he was. And the example that I was going to give was the fish, that when the multitudes were there listening to his sermon, and the apostles were ready to go on to the next journey, to the next town. The apostles were going to send them out. And Jesus said, no, they're hungry. And the apostles, they didn't have enough food. So he gave them, a miracle, gave them all that fish. But the point I was going to make was that they pursued Jesus, and Jesus pointed out to them that, hey, why are you pursuing me? Is it because of the fish or the food that I gave to you?
See there?
And he says, you foolish people pursue meat that does not perish, but that, endures to life everlasting.
That's deep.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is deep. I love that. That's a good example. As you were speaking, I was thinking about Skid Row. You know how they have these homeless shelters and things downtown Los Angeles? And they're like nice big hotels. They're not hotels, but they look like hotels. And they feed those people down there every day. And those people are some of the worst of the worst of the worst people you ever want to see. They're not getting better, they're getting worse. They're mean, they're on drugs, they're alcoholic, they're rapists, they're thieves. And they're being fed every day. And they're not getting, and then they have church for them. And the church is not even saving them because they're feeding these people and keeping them in the hellhole that they're in. And you're right. God don't be following up behind me every day because you think I'm going to feed you. That's not it. It's the spirit that we should be concerned about. And that's a good example of what can happen to people when you feed them every day. And if you doubt me, go downtown and look at Skid Row. The young and the old, the male and the female, the black and the white are there. And they're just scum of the earth because these people are killing them and keeping them from them finding God within themselves and helping them to grow spiritually. I am Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by calling 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND.